Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coleman. If you're new here, welcome to the fams. So for today's video, we are doing the abaya tutorial. I forgot to record a intro, so that's what I'm doing right now. And yeah. Okay, so I just laid down my fabric. Make sure that you have your fabric facing inside out. Fold it in half, whether it works vertically for you or horizontal, whatever way works. I have my fabric folded in half vertically, and you're going to want to make sure that you have each corner, you have the fabric meeting at each corner. Sometimes because we're getting these fabrics from VV or any thrift stores, most of the time the fabric will be uneven, and that's okay. Like for example here, the bottom portion is shorter than the top portion, but that's not that big of a deal because we're not using this whole length. Like this is, I think, around 60 inches, maybe even more, and we don't need that much fabric, so we can make our own even line. If you are a visual learner like myself, then you can kind of already see how the abaya is going to play out. Like, it's really easy to make. You're just going to create armholes on each end and then sew all the way down, and then you cut straight down in the middle. You can kind of already see the line made for you, the halfway line. But yeah, I'm going to go in more detail with you guys, but this is step number 1. Okay, so very weird angle. I just have it propped up on this table over here, so don't mind that. I've just went ahead and measured out how wide we want the abaya to be. So I just went ahead and took the measuring tape, and I told my mother to just spread out her arms, and I went from one wrist to the next. So just went ahead and measured hers out, and we're gonna do about 58 inches for the width of the abaya. Now you have to take into consideration the not sure what it's called, but like the fact that you're gonna need to fold and sew down. So I'm gonna add a couple more inches to it. So I think what I'll do is I'll just keep it at 60 inches. That way I have 2 inches of, like, is it seam allowance? I think that's what it's called. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so just make sure that you're always adding a couple inches on, so that way whenever you fold and sew down, you have the right amount of fabric left for your, like, you don't want the sleeve to be too short. Okay, so we're working with 60 inches, and I'm just gonna measure it out to see if we probably do have enough material, but if there's some extra left off, then I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it right out. Okay guys, so I just measured out the width of the abaya, and Alhamdulilah guys, like, I'm just the luckiest person ever. It is exactly 60 inches, which means I don't have to cut anything off, and it's gonna make this tutorial super easy to follow. So yeah, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to measure out how wide we want the armholes to be. I'm gonna do about 10 inches, which is gonna leave a little bit of space so it's easy to roll up whenever you're doing your wudu or anything like that. So yeah, that's the next thing we're gonna do. Okay, so just to show you guys, I pin the fabric horizontally when I'm indicating where to stop for the sleeve, and then all the way down I just pinned it vertically, and I did it on both sides as you guys saw in the previous clip. So now it's time to sew. Unfortunately, I don't really have this much of this thread, so this is the closest color, so that's what I'm going to use. I don't have much of it, which is unfortunate, but the good thing is I don't really have to do much sewing when it comes to the batwing abaya. So let's go head over to the sewing machine and sew the sides up. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is cut straight in the middle. Now you're only going to cut the top portion, so just the top part. Go ahead and follow. If you guys have a crease or a line, just go ahead and follow that. That should be the middle, the halfway point of the fabric. If it's not, or if you want to double check, you can just go ahead, take your measuring tape, measure out how wide your material is, and then cut that in half. So, and that would be your halfway point, and go ahead and cut straight down the middle. Okay, so we've gone ahead and cut right down the middle. That's what it looks like. Now, this part is the neck portion right over there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure out 2 centimeters out and cut horizontally, like on the shoulder portion, like right here. Cut 2 inches off that way and 2 inches that way. Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Okay guys, we are almost done. This is what the abaya looks like on. Okay. I've just folded the front part. So we are pretty much done. All we have to do is hem the bottom, sew down the front portion of the abaya, and we are good to go. As well as the we gotta sew the sleeves as well. Sew that in. Do you see how quick it is to make an abaya? This one's super flowy. This is what it looks like on the back. Obsessed. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna fix the front portion of the abaya. So you know how we went ahead and we cut straight down the middle? We're gonna have to hem the the front of the abaya. Now, the easiest thing to do is to go ahead and press it down with an iron first, then go ahead, place your pins, and then you can go ahead and sew it down, and it's gonna look really clean and professional. So this is the front portion. We have the material facing the right way. It's a lot easier to work with. I love how I'm like creeping into the camera, into the screen. So yeah, the easiest thing to do is to have the fabric facing the correct way, which we have it that way right now. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold right where that 2 inches stops at. You're gonna go ahead and fold all the way down, and you're gonna press that down with an iron. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. This is probably the most tedious part about making an abaya. So we're just pressing it down all the way. And the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take it and fold. So fold it twice. Like that. And then press it. So, because if we just sewed it down like this, this can run. Remember how I told you guys in the Q&A, the fabric will run. There's 2 options that you can do. You can go ahead and fold it twice, like that. And I'll show you what that looks like. Or you can just sew it down like this, but it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't look professional. But you can just sew it down like that and then take the, I forget what those scissors are called. Oh, picking scissors or picking, I forgot what it's called. But you'll take that and just run it down. That way the fabric doesn't run like this. But in this tutorial, and what I would suggest you do is go ahead, when you press it down with an iron, it's just easier to do this. So first press it down with an iron and then go like that and press that down with an iron again a second time, and then place your needles, and then you can go ahead and sew it. So I'll go ahead and show you guys. Okay, so we are pretty much done with pinning it down and pressing it down with an iron. The next step is to go ahead and sew it all the way down. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side, and then we do the exact same thing to the sleeves, and the exact same thing to the bottom of the abaya. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew this down. Okay, I just want to show you guys how the back of the abaya would look like the neck part. As you guys can see, this is the front part, and then we still got this part to work with. So what I usually do is I'll go ahead and press it down with an iron. So I'll go ahead and do that quickly. And then you're just gonna sew that down. See how the edges are underneath, like they're folded in? And yeah, so I'm just gonna pin it down and then sew over it. Okay, so this is what the neck is looking like. It's gonna have a bit of like an awkward part right here just because it doesn't meet really well, but my hijab covers that part, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so next we're going to work on the sleeves. As you guys can see here, we're going to need to sew it down. Okay, so first thing you want to do is make sure that you have the sleeve facing the right way, and then it's pretty easy. You're just going to go ahead and tuck it in like that. When you do that, you're just going to go ahead and press it down with an iron. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to just tuck it in like this, and then just pin them all down. Okay, so this is how it should look. And when you're running it under the sewing machine, if you're able to, you should take off the front portion of the sewing machine. I'll show you what I'm talking about, just so that way it's easier for you to sew it down. Okay, so when you're done sewing, it should look like this. This is the sleeve, this is the right way, and then this is the wrong way. Just cut off the loose threads, and you are almost done. You just have to hem the bottom, and we're done. Okay, so I just want to show you what the inside looks like, the inside of the abaya. You know how we sewed it all the way down. What we're going to do next is we're just going to go ahead and press this down with an iron, just so it looks really clean and profesh. You're going to want to do this before you hem your bottom, the bottom of the abaya. Like, go ahead, press it down with an iron. That way, whenever you are hemming, it look like that, like this. Okay, so that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up so I know. Turn on your bell notifications so you guys don't miss any of my uploads. And I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.